everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. We wait for 1 minute for everyone to join and we will start our webinar. Well, good morning again. I'm happy to welcome you at the HP Latex webinar. And today we will speak about profiles, how to create easily a profile and be happy. And today I'm very happy to introduce Chris and Haldun. Most of you already met them at the previous webinars. They're our technical experts. Chris is live from our Barcelona headquarters, and Haldun is responsible for technical consultations for Eastern Central European and Germany. So I give the floor now to Chris. Before that, I just want to remind you that if you have a question during the presentation, feel free to put it into the Q&A section and we will answer these questions after the presentation one by one. So enjoy the session and I give the floor to Chris now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session about profiling on the 300 and 500 series. I'm just showing my face for a bit, but I'm going to put on my mask because the company obliges me to do this. We're still in COVID times, so here we go. Okay, so welcome to the session. Let's go to the next slide. What will be in our agenda? Well, there will be only one topic, which is creating your profile on an Latex 500, but also I forgot to put it in. It's the same thing for the Latex 300 series. And in the end, we will do a question and answer session. As Irina already told, please drop your questions into the question and answers box, and we will reply to them at the end of the session. Okay, so how are we going to work? Well, we have to generate a media preset using the printer and the internal spectrophotometer. Okay, we're going to make a new substrate and we're going to follow the wizard. But before you know and before you start, making a profile is very important that we have a good machine in our hands. Making a profile with bad conditions of the machine is going to give you a bad profile, hence bad results. So make sure that you do prepare your system correctly. Make sure that your nozzles are okay. Run the check and clean to make sure that you clean everything you have. Make sure the alignment is okay. Check the advance. All those things will influence quality and will influence your profile in the end. And make sure that your media is okay. Make sure it doesn't have any plasticizers or other weird stuff that is going to influence our profile, our quality. Okay. So I need to click something away here. So make sure that your printer is in the ready state. Stop any job queue that's still on. Load your new substrate and basically choose the substrate that is closest to the substrate that you're going to profile. Okay. When the substrate has been loaded, you go to the substrate library on your front panel, like we do here, and then you choose you choose the type of media you're going to work on. In this case, it's a PVC banner, and then you can add in here that you're going to make a new PVC banner on top. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Then he will ask, it could be that your machine is asking, you're adding a new substrate, what kind of substrate do you have? And for example, in the banners, you have the normal generic PVC banner, you have the banner Vivid, and you have a backlit. You have to choose here, watch out. If you're if you're clicking on the generate backlit PVC banner, you won't be able to make a profile with that because the spectrophotometer that is in our printer embedded is a front lit application only. So when you select any backlit, you will not be able to make a profile on your printer like that. Then you have to do it outside of the printer with an external profiling tool. Okay. Then you go, you're going to go to the front panel and you're going to do the following instructions, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a test with drying. We're going to set the color reference and we're going to make the ICC profile. Okay, so we're going to go into this window, and the first thing we have to do is make sure that we do the print test, and he's going to well, print a certain pattern that is going to give you different inkages and so on. Okay, if you already know what kind of density, what kind of inkage you're going to use, then you can always introduce it and directly go to the next step. Okay, when that one is done, we're going to go to continue and we're going to do the color calibration. Remember, color calibration is always very important to set your reference. And again, like in the previous session, I hammered on that one really really hard. You have to have a good reference. If you have to have a good reference, you need to have all those things in order. So don't work with very old print heads, and make sure that your nozzle health is okay, like I said at the beginning of the session. Okay. After the automatic color calibration has been completed, and this takes about 15 minutes, it will print some pattern, and then the spectrophotometer will read it out, but it also needs to dry, so it takes about 15 minutes. And then we can go here, and in this window, it's not really the best screenshot that we have. You can create your own ICC profile, or you can choose an existing one. Okay, in this case, let's go and create our own ICC profile by clicking on this button. What will the machine do? The machine will, and I will go back to the previous slide, the machine will print X amount of patches, and our spectrophotometer is going to read those one out, and you're going to end up with a profile. So that's why it's easy to create, because you just have to push some buttons, and then the machine basically does everything for you. Okay, now when you're creating your profile, and let me go a few slides back, okay, to this slide. Okay, when you're printing your test file, it could be that you see some things going on. Maybe your ink is not drying. Maybe you have coalescence. Maybe you have different issues that occur. Okay, then you just go, and I'm going to go right now to this session. I'm going to this one here. You can go to the advanced settings. Okay, and there is a dialog that is going to open up, and in those advanced settings, you have a lot of things that you can change. Okay, straightness optimization, the optimizer level, vacuum, advanced factor, etc., etc. We'll go into each of those ones individually in my next slide. Okay, what is the straightness optimization? Okay, it's when you're printing, um, depending on the media that you're using, it can deform. And it can deform, and I don't know if you can see me on screen, it can deform in some kind of, let's say, smiley shape, where the middle is more to the front than the two outsides. Now we can compensate for that, and that is that straightness optimization factor. The second thing is a latex optimizer level. You know that we're fixing our let's say ink water so you can use those, you can play with your optimizer level to increase your IQ. Okay. I have to say there are limits. So giving too much optimizer level is also not good. You have to look for a good balance between image quality and optimizer. Don't give too much. It's not necessary to overdo your optimizer. You can do the print test, and then we are, well, you can do the same thing as we've seen before. You can adjust the vacuum of your print zone. So it's making sure that you can keep your media flat. It doesn't wrinkle. Again, also on vacuum, don't exaggerate, because when you're really increasing your vacuum too much, your media will not advance correctly. It can even give a wrinkle and give a head crash. But you need vacuum to keep your media close to the printing platen and to avoid head crashes or smears where your carriage is just touching the media, but it doesn't crash into it. Okay. Then the advance factor. Okay. If you're not using the OMAS, you can manually dial in your advance factor and make sure that that your advance, your step-to-step advance is correct. Okay, this is then manual, and you can change that in there. And then you have the interpass delay offset. This is a one that is barely used, but some medias do need a little bit of time between the drying or between the passes to dry better. Okay, it's very little amount of medias that need it, but sometimes, and Haldon, correct me if I'm wrong, some papers will benefit from an interpass delay offset, as it just gives the time for the ink to settle onto the paper and to dry better the ink onto the paper.
Exactly. Also, Chris, only to add, on some vinyls, it is also helping to reduce the white spots between the
droplets.
Between the droplets, exactly.
Okay, good. Then you can also change your input tension. It's how much we pull to the media and to give a nice entry of your substrate into the machine. You can enable or disable the OMAS. The OMAS is the optical media advanced sensor. Basically, it's the brain who is telling you, or who's telling the machine how much the media exactly forwarded. But on some medias, it will not work correctly. So then you can manually disable it and only work over the mechanical advance of your printer. And then you can print either in 4 colors or in 6 color mode. And then you have the leading edge release. This is to set your advance. So if your paper is inside of the printer, it's going to bring in the paper a little bit further. So you will lose a little bit of media, but it avoids that the media will crash when starting to print into your well, into your printing area. No. Good. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So it's a very short session. I think we took about 17 or 18 minutes. I hope everything is clear, but please shoot any question you have in our Q&A, because I think the Q&A here is more important than the few slides that I gave.
So let's wait if some questions coming up.
So, do you have any questions, please? Oh, yeah, we have one.
We have one.
Then, let's wait.
Maybe Mr. Clement just wants to say hello to us, no? And remember, when I said easy profiling, it's because you just go one by one, step by step through your profiling session, and you will end up with a profile. Okay. Easy because we also control all the settings in the creation of the profile, so you don't have to do anything. We do everything for you. The question is the following. Transmission measurement must be done by external measurement equipment. Am I right? You're correct. So for backlit media, so our spectrophotometer is only reading in reflection. If you want to do backlit media, you need a light from the bottom that shines through the media, and then you have the spectrophotometer that captures from the top. The spectrophotometer built into our machine is not equipped to do that. So yes, if you want to make a backlit profile, you need to do it with an external spectrophotometer, like for example a Barbieri that has the backlit option integrated into your into their device. May I again kindly ask you for an AN or TN for that? An AN or TN? I don't know what you mean with AN or TN, Martin.
Can you please explain what is AN and TN? Application or technical note? So Chris, can we send application or technical note on how to, I think it's also related to transmission measuring
Yeah.
equipment.
Okay.
Can
We will
send
take
it
this.
after that?
We will take this offline. Mr. Clement, if you're just sending out your email,
Yeah,
then
we have
will
yeah.
reply.
Yeah, thank you for email. Yeah, I will contact with you.
Okay. And then Mr. Easa, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Hello there. I have a problem with the color calibration of metallic material, wide reflection. Every time the machine reaches the end, it says the calibration has failed. Other materials, everything works as usual. It's a normal behavior because on metallic materials, metallics are built like this, that they bounce back all the light. So the machine is not going to be able to read any correct, let's say, white point of the media, because basically what you're giving to the spectrophotometer is a mirror. So he cannot read correctly, hence the problems on that one. Okay. So the nature or the error that you're going to get, Mr. Easa, is normal, and you cannot make a good profile on metallic material unless if you first put white under, and we have other printers that take white under the metallics first.
Only one comment to this. If the media is white and this reflection, then if you have an external spectral, for example, the Barbieri, you can use a polarization filter. Okay. Then you will absorb this reflection and you can do the measurements. Only to show a solution for this one, but only if it's white.
Turning off the lighting in the room, it doesn't help. No, it's normal because the lighting in the room doesn't really do anything. There's a small light in the spectrophotometer that shines to the media and you cannot switch that one off. So, by the way, switching off light, it's when it's completely dark, I also cannot see anything. No. So it's normal. You need light. You need light. You need a certain light. But the external switching of the external light into the room does not help. Then another question is, how much influence does the condition of the heads give to the profile? I mean, if the heads are to be replaced, do I have to replace them before making the profile? I would say yes. How can I explain it best? It's like having bad tires on your car where there is no grooves in it anymore, and then knowing that you need to drive into wet weather, into rainy weather, you're not going to have a good behavior of your car. You probably will have aquaplaning. It's the same thing here. If your heads are, I don't know, 7, 8 liter, maybe more, you're running with let's say old tires, and you're not going to have the best output. So yes, in that case, if you want to make a very good profile, you need to have heads which are in good condition. So then please replace them.
So if you have any questions, please write them on the Q&A session. It's below. You can see it.
Yes, somebody raised his hand.
Yeah, Katalin.
Yeah, Katalin Manea. Maybe if you could send the question into the Q&A, that would be great. Let's leave the session open for another minute or two. So if people are thinking about other questions, then we give them time to put it into the question and answers box, and we will be happy to reply onto that one. And I'm going to go to the next slide. Where did we get, or where can you know more about our printers and how to do things? Well, we have our Latex Knowledge Center, and we have the Learn with HP. Please go there. There are nice cookbooks and nice information per printer. So please go there and learn more about our printers. And don't hesitate to contact either me or Mr. Koop if you have more questions. Good, Tatiana, I don't think there are more questions coming. Then the only thing that we have to do is thank everybody for joining this session. We hope it was a very learnful session for you and you take something away from this. In the name of the complete HP team, Tatiana, Halden, myself, and Irina, who already had to leave to another call. Thank you very much. And
thank you very
hope to see you
much.
soon.
Thank you very much to join, and we are waiting for you for the next webinar next Wednesday, the same time.
Thank you.
The topic will
Thank you.
be about the application. Thank you.